Cherries. I also congratulate CJ for my friend Francis Nebo, who for his selection to Mamiwata to the Oscars too. But it's a great competition in perspective, I think. So, I'm not too long, see? It's too long? Oh no? Yeah, I continue? Yes. This film, these two films, Mamiwata and Sira, shows that co-production between countries, whatever the north or the south, are essential for our African films and our budget. And I'm sorry, the main thing is to unite our forces and our energies to access of the top of world cinema. Berlin, Cannes, Toronto, Oscars. I'm sorry, my English is very bad. So non, je veux dire, non. Shows so that the film are succeeding when transcend linguistic borders. You know, I'm sure of that. And bon, for the panel, my relationship with Nigeria, with Lagos, I think are recent. With my partner Axel Guyot, we will succeed in producing a remake of an African comedy here in Lagos. But we first had to understand and accept our difference in perception of our profession. I'm a French producer, and it is not the same thing that African producers, Nigerian producers, you know. Here is more faster than our country, but more complicated because Nigerian financial are essentially private. Yes, and we will therefore try to adapt a French-speaking success by adapting into English-speaking, you know. And it's about all African story, south by and for Africans. The budget are smaller, but the energy are greater. Oh. I'm sorry, it's boring for you, no? No? See, boring, little boring. No? It's good? No, okay, sorry, I apologize. Finally, this year's, I'm looking for release Sira, distribute Sira in theaters. And I'm very surprised because it's very difficult for a movie like Sia who win a lots of prize. I don't have Nigerian distributors for this film, not because it's a bad film. No, it's not a bad film, but because it's a francophone one. I think it's a very big problem for us, and I hope Nigerian people can see these movies because it's an African film. Not a Nigerian, it's an African film. So, for finish, my speech boring. Last year we built a great relationship with talented Nigerian distributors and producers. This year you are going to take action and try to break the box office together with our remake of French-speaking comedy to English-speaking Nigerian comedy. I hope we succeed. A joke. If among you, they are financial. If among you, if you are financial, I can give you. Yes, no, I'm finished. I'm just finished. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just finished. So thank you for your time, and I apologize for my strong French accent.
You did very well. Please, 2 seconds.
Hello, are you hearing me? Yeah, cool. Okay, as Donny, my English is not very well, but I took some classes before I come. I am Eddie Charles, CEO of Charlie Dubbing Production and MGM Postprod. I'm a post-production company based in Paris. I'm referred dubbing services and video editing services. It's very funny because I worked with different companies in Nigeria more than 7 years. I never come here. I'm very happy to hear now. Thank you for the invitation. I'm not a post-production, I'm not production, I'm not distribution, I'm just technical post-production, but I know what we do for you sell your content. Yes.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. So my name is Sébastien Hussenot. I'm a French producer based in Paris. I'm producing since more than 25 years or so, mainly short films and feature film. I'm not specialized in African contents. In fact, I do lots of co-production with different countries around the world, depending mainly on meetings with filmmakers. And recently, I've met a great team from Ghana, and we've co-produced a short film recently, which was Chuchwe, which was in Cannes in official competition last year, and Ike, my Ghanaian co-producer, is there. And we are preparing the feature film of the same Ghanaian director that we are going to shoot next year. It's not easy because it's not. We don't have a treaty between Ghana and France. Ghana is not a francophone country, but we find some solution. And each time for each production, we have to find some new ideas, in fact. So, but we are ready to shoot next year. So.
Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Judith Audu. I'm a Nigerian filmmaker and actor. My first feature film, Just Not Married, got screened at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2016. And then I had gone on to produce some of the biggest films from Nigeria, some of which you would know: Blood Sisters, Shantytown, Eleshi Oba. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Well done on what you do, Chioma, Ude, and everyone. I think I'm probably the only English-speaking person on this panel. It's going to be fun. Thanks for having me. And oh, by the way, it was so exciting about Sarah at the AMA, the woman that won. She was the only female nominee on the nomination list. So when she won, it was like women. Yeah, it was. So yes, congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Oh, your English is so good. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex. Thank you for having me here. I'm a producer. I've been working for the last 20 years in West Africa, mostly based in Dakar, in Senegal, but also developing content, TV series, documentaries and such in every francophone countries, Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, and lately in Benin. So only 100 kilometers away from here, with all my Benin friends here. I'm so happy to be here because, unfortunately, and things have not changed for the 20 last years, there's still a wall, a stupid wall, but a wall between French-speaking and English-speaking Africa. And it is so sad because there's so many talents that could work together. I mean, when you know that Benin is only like 100 kilometers away and that there's very few, if none, co-production between Benin and Nigeria, this is really sad. Same people, different ideas, many different things to tell, many different stories to tell together. And so this is, again, many thanks for welcoming me here, because I'm in search of talents and of stories from Nigeria that we could co-produce with French-speaking talents on the continent and in the different countries I've mentioned. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Amazing panel that I have here. So I've actually picked on each one of you, like your introduction. So I think I will start with you first, Alex. I want to ask, you've just mentioned something that is very important in the film industry, especially filmmaking in Africa. We have several francophone countries in Africa and anglophone countries, but Nollywood, for instance, is the only major one that is like buzzing globally. People know about Nollywood. But we have so many African countries that are out there that speak French. And what do you think is an idea or a suggestion from you that we can do in Nollywood that can help collaboration with French-speaking African countries so that we can have people like France that is very much interested and has the partnership with Nigeria do more work in Nigeria or in Nollywood?
It's a very interesting question. Thank you so much for asking it. Well, you know, we're talking about French and English, but there's also, and primarily, a lot of local languages. And movies in Africa and stories in Africa should be also told in the local languages. And this will not, separate that much the Francophone region and the English-speaking region. I guess that there are two different systems for financing. So it's the way you are going to finance a movie in the French-speaking zone is going to be very different from the way you're going to fund it in the English-speaking zone, because the partners you are going to send your applications or your script to are going to be very different. I mean, totally different kind of partners. But it's also an opportunity because they are different partners. If we were combining these partners, we will get more money. And all of us here, we know that the main constraint that we have, apart from human resource, that we're still training a lot, but it's funding. We lack of funding. Even in Nollywood, we lack of funding. So if we were combining French-speaking producers with English-speaking producers, we would be addressing the same projects to different funders, and maybe finally build a budget that will be able to compete against the international competition. Because we were discussing with Thomas, who is coming from Cannes Festival, and he said, we haven't been able to select Nigerian movies yet for Cannes. And I told him, yeah, but it's mainly also because the budget of Nigerian movies is not up to the level of the budget that you would find in Europe or in Asia or in even Latin America. So one way to solve this issue is to unite and to combine the different sources of funding to get better products and better funded.
Thank you for that. So I would also like to just top up something on that. There are very few people that I know that are English speaking in our film industry that actually speak French or try to speak French. So since Chioma is here today, I wanted her to at least hear this plea. I've always I speak French because I grew up in Ivory Coast. But a lot of English speaking actors don't have that opportunity. But we have the French community that are supporting like our film industry. So it will be so nice if you can come up with something like master classes or little classes that we can learn French with Alliance Française, and actors and filmmakers can learn. It will be nice. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. We'll still speak the local language. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, we'll still speak the local languages like he said, but partnering with what he said, presenting bigger budgets, we need to be able to understand, we need to be able to speak and make it a global African village, because at the end of the day, it's Pan-African. We sell what we want, the narrative we want to the global community. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. So I would like to also ask you a question, Charles. Um, your post-production work you do, have you ever worked with like local Nigerian filmmakers?
Yes, thank you for your question. Yes, I work with with a iPhone picture on Jojo Story. You know Jojo Story? It's the first co-production between France and Nigeria. During the pandemic, it was very, very, very difficult because I want several content from Nigeria, like wedding party, one, two, a lot of we found a lot of mistake on the movie because sometimes I think from me the Nollywood content shoot very early, very speed, very early.
They shoot very fast.
Very fast, yes. And but we don't have we have the problem with the sound, we have the problem with the image. Yes, for me, the problem is that it's just very fast. Take your time for had the sound, good sound. Take your time for had the good image. Take your time for shoot good.
Okay.
I don't know if I reply with your question.
Yeah, you replied a little bit. So you've worked with Nigerian productions before, but you had issues with the sound because they shoot very fast and the image. So that means you had more work to do on the project.
More
Like
time, just more time, just
Yes.
more time.
More time.
More
Okay.
work, yes.
But
I
do you-
know. I know Nollywood work a lot. I saw the evolution of Nollywood in the world. Just more time to give the good quality. If you need to export your content to America or from France, because sometimes I work a lot with Canal Plus, with iFind, with Media One, etc. But in France, if your content is not well with the different, because we have a different specification, the broadcaster in France, comment tu dis, vont descendre le prix?
Reduce
Yes,
the price.
yes.
Reduce. All right, thank you. So I'll move on to Judith. She's the only lady here. Judith, I wanted to find out, because you've actually produced like so many big projects, and I'm sure you have a lot more in works. So what is your idea on partnership with French filmmakers? Like, what do you advise, or what would you say is like the best idea for anyone that's here who's a filmmaker that want to partner with these people that have this like amazing experience for over 25 years and so? He's a post-production person, and he probably want to work with people here as well. People here will want to work with. What do you say? What would be that idea that you can help push anyone here to collaborate with these people or encourage them to collaborate?
Thanks, Juliet. So I would say, like he said, it's been mind-boggling for a very long time that Nigeria is surrounded by francophone countries, and we still have that language barrier. So I studied French. Je suis licencié en français. Je parle français. Hello.
That's nice.
Bravo. Merci. Thank you.
So I remember there was a time when the Nigerian government wanted to make French a compulsory language in secondary schools, so that we'll be able to communicate with our neighboring, countries. And that would have been really amazing if that had been done, because you have Benin Republic, that is just there. You have Lomé, you have Niger, you have Senegal, who make amazing films, by the way. You have all these countries that you can't talk about cinema culture without talking about Senegal, Sembène Ousmane, So we also need to find that level ground where we can be able to do things and figure out how we're going to communicate with each other, because as we know, cinema is, of course, a global language. So when we do films, we would always find a way to manage and communicate with each other. So if there's a will, there would always be a way. And I know the French government have been trying as much as they can to create that partnership, with us, to find producers here that want to produce that. There is a fund waiting for us to come grab, So I remember there was a time when French filmmakers were actually looking for Nigerian producers to do co-productions with, because there is that fund waiting if you have a Nigerian producer to co-produce with, you know. And funny enough, like you said, Juliet, we actually have a lot of actors here and filmmakers that actually speak French. Ufoma Ejenobo is a French graduate. Omoni Oboni speaks French. Zakoji speaks French. Mekotanwa speaks French. You know, we have a lot of people that actually speak French here. But just because that avenue is not being exploited yet, it's lacking in that. So I really love that we're having this session, because all we do is just, but I hope after this session we would actually do something, because all we do is talk. You know, so yeah, so year in, year out, we just talk about it. But after this session, it's goodbye. Next year we come again, we talk about it, you know. But we are ready. We have made that ground, you know, where Nigeria is doing really well globally right now, you know. So we're ready for that market. So if there is good French producers, there are amazing Nigerian producers. I'm one of them. You can talk to me after this panel. And then we'll talk. We'll take it from there. I have a friend that just went to shoot film, Asaf. He just shot his film in 3 countries, and all of them are actually Francophone countries. Benin Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, shot in Ivory Coast. And I can't remember what the third one was. But they were all Francophone countries, and that language barrier was a thing. Because then you need to have a middleman that will be doing the translation for him, and sometimes communication things are being lost, you know, in that. But what I'm trying to say is we are actually already doing the work. We are actually already shooting films, going out there to make films. Mami Wata was shot in Benin Republic. You know, so we are actually already in Nollywood taking that bold step to do that marriage with our brothers in the Francophone countries. So I would say you should also do the same. I'm happy you're already doing that. So let's work together and make great films. Like you said, if we come together, the opportunities and what is there is limitless. You know, you can't. Have you ever seen what they do in Senegal, some of the films from there? You will be blown, your mind will be blown. So imagine if they bring that together and then bring it here and we harness all that together, go to France and do the post-production, what we would get. You know, so there's a lot of opportunities if we figure out how to marry the Anglophone and the Francophone countries in Africa. We will do things that the world is going to just blow up.
Thank you very much for that. So that will lead me to my next question, which he mentioned earlier. He has a film that has won several prizes and awards outside Seram, right? That's the name. And he's been trying to get Nigerian distribution, and he seems to be having a problem with that, because maybe having it in the cinemas here, not so many Francophones might even come out to watch it, and Anglophones will probably not be interested. So I want to ask you, you understand what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask you, have you had any steps that you have taken since you've been here to meet with, like, distribution companies? Have you done that yet?
No, I don't understand your question.
Okay. Est-ce que tu as déjà rencontré avec les distributions, maisons de distribution ici au Nigeria?
Yes, I am in discussion with several distributors in Nigeria. It's quite long for have a response. Too long for I have making 3, 4, 5, 6 readings, and I send the films, and they said to me, this is not the priority. Don't wait, but it's an African films who select in Berlin, Toronto, the subject in African terrorism in Sahel. We are all concerned by the subject. It's a tough movies. It's hard, but it's a revenge of the woman. It's not author films. It's a revenge films, you know, and the distributors are not going. Ils vont pas
Not
plus loin.
interested. They're not taking it.
Yes, yes. So
All right.
I'm very surprised of this fact, you know, because this film, Sarah, I have a distribution of Canada, Quebec, whole America, South America, and yet in USA, but not in Nigeria for an African movie. I'm very strange. I ask the question, what do you do? So we have a second solution for work with the Nigerian people. Say do some remake of comedy film, like it's very more easy to distribute comedy, but these two cinemas must cohabitate. You understand me? You, Ozi? Must cohabitate because Nigerian movies, Nigerian business for French producer like me, the budget are very small, very small, and lots of technical problem because of the budget small, and we can, like Francis, we must do co-production, you know, for have more money for doing better films, you know.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm waiting for you.
Distributor. You're waiting for the distributor. I'm sure there will be somebody that can
Juliet,
answer
can I just say
after.
something?
Yes,
can I
sure.
say something to that? So, I would just say two things. First of all, cinema is a business in itself, and for you to want to put a film in cinema, it needs to be desirable. People need to, like, I've never heard of the film until when she won the award. That was when I searched for the film and I realized, it screened at TIFF. But it's not enough to say because the film screened at TIFF or at Kent, then we would want to see it in Nigeria. You need to be able to invest in your marketing budget and do some publicity for the film. That way, people would want to see the film.
You're right.
So
You're right.
that way, when you're talking to a distributor, they must have seen the film somewhere, and then they'll be like, okay, maybe we can try. People may want to see the film, but not when nobody has heard of the film. They haven't heard of the film. They don't even see it on social media. They don't read about it, So that way it's harder. So if you want to bring a film into not just this market, but for you to be able to also do well commercially in the cinemas, it would be nice for you to really do massive publicity so that people would want to see the film. People would then start asking for the film. In fact, the distributor would then be the one to even ask you for the film. So that way, I think you would get more people to want to see the film that way if you do it like that. Just put more in your publicity.
I agree, but it cuts money.
Yeah,
Cuts money, and
it does.
I put my money on the image of the film, on the technician, on the salaries. So you are right, but it's a different way of perception of our métier. Comment on dit métier?
The way of doing things.
It's a different way of producers, I'm a producer, I'm not a distributor, but you're right. American put 30% of the budget for promotion. Well, not us. So,
You're right. We don't put that money in marketing. We put that money on screen.
Yes. So you're right, but I haven't this money.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
it's
a problem with independent, filmmakers like
the
us.
promotion, like you said, is the festival. It's the free way for us to show Syrah all over the world. Donc Berlin. So yes, we have this success, but we have a Hama last week. Great, I'm very happy, but Nigerian people don't see the film.
Well, even Nigerian people don't see Nigerian films if they are not publicity for them.
Yes.
So that's the thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I
that's the
understand.
thing. Yeah.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
different way that, like you said, there's a different way you guys do it in Europe. You invest more of your budget on the film, on the product. But here, we have to always set aside money for marketing because without marketing, nobody's going to know about the film.
Because over there, the distributors actually do it.
Yes.
That's what he's trying to say.
Yes.
But here, the distributor don't do that. The producers are the one that still have to
Yes.
get the money to do the publicity.
So that's the difference.
It's ridiculous, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But that's a fact.
That's right.
Yeah. So I would like to ask one question before I open to everybody in the audience. I would like to ask Sebastian, right? Sebastian, what are you currently doing, like any project with Nigerian film producers? Like, do you have any project you're working on now?
No, not
No
now.
collaboration
not
now.
for the moment, no.
But you're open to it?
Yeah, of course. I know it will be difficult, so let me have my first experience with Ghana first, and after to see how to make. But of course, I'm interested in Nigerian film.
I actually know about the Ghana movie, the film that you guys did, and the movie you're about to do, because I've worked with Ike for so many years, like 9 years actually. So I've been following what you guys are doing, and it would be nice to actually open up, maybe include some Nigerians in the project for the film, because like in Nigeria, they have the partnership with France. So I think it makes it easier, like you said earlier, for the budget and everything, because in Ghana, they don't have that kind of partnership. Yes.
Yeah, I think it would be a nice idea. It's the same thing that Alexandre was saying, to perhaps open more collaboration and to find, because we try to find some ideas to make come other producers on board, but we have to find the way to make this collaboration between the different funds, the funding, and it makes also sometimes some obligation that we need to do. So each project is very different. Also, it depends also on which market you want to go. If you are making some financement from Europe or for abroad, so it means sometimes that you can bring a co-production in different ways. But for this project, for example, I know we spoke with Ike about this idea, but for the moment we don't have the clue for the moment. But if we meet some Nigerian co-producers that can say, okay, perhaps I can involve in the project with this, what can I bring in the project? And it's also an opportunity to give more chance to the film to be distributed and released in Nigeria also.
That's true. Thank you very much. So I would like to open the floor for questions. I can see hands up.
Okay, thank you. I got a microphone first. Thank you. All right, my name is Musing Derek. I'm a film producer and director from Cameroon. And when I look at global storytelling, French filmmakers discuss Nollywood, I'm a little bit perplexed about what we are discussing there, because moi je viens de le côté anglophone au Cameroun, mais il paraît que vous m'excusez, please excuse me, let me actually craft my question in my broken French so that they can understand. Parce que malgré tout ce que nous on discute là-bas, moi je pense que quand on parle de globalisation, moi je comprends très bien ce qui se passe en Afrique. On a divisé l'Afrique parce que le but de tous les producteurs, c'est la distribution. Donc ça veut dire que quand tu fais ton production, le but c'est pour distribuer, c'est pour avoir ton argent investi. So when we talk about global storytelling, en sachant qu'en Afrique, il y a certains plafonds que quand tu as déjà fait ton film, tu entres là-bas, si les acteurs s'expriment en anglais, on te dit qu'on ne peut pas faire le business avec toi. C'est la même chose qui se passe du côté français. Mais si on parle de globalization of storytelling, qu'est-ce qu'on fait pour changer ces politiques? Parce qu'il y a les politiques qui exigent maintenant. Et si on doit globaliser l'Afrique, il faut d'abord qu'on pense à est-ce que c'est possible de changer ces politiques? What I'm saying is that we all should understand, because when I look at global storytelling, it's important for us, every producer, the goal is you want to do a film and distribute it, and you want to get return on investment. But if we are talking global storytelling today, and I was expecting the panelists should be able to delve into telling us that, okay, in the past, because I have grown as a filmmaker, and there are platforms that I would take my film to as a filmmaker, and they would tell me that, I'm sorry, your film is in English. We cannot distribute your film. It's the same thing, you go the other route, they will tell you, your film is in French, we cannot distribute your film. But if we have to globalize storytelling in Cameroon, lui vient de dire qu'il entre dans le cinéma au Nigeria, il y a des gens qui te disent qu'on ne peut pas distribuer ton film. C'est certain, c'est parce que peut-être il a les idées, il comprend très bien ce qui se passe. Et sache que s'il prend ton film et il est en train de distribuer ça, il y a les hiérarchies qui vont venir derrière eux pour dire que non, ça c'est notre côté, ou bien ça c'est notre côté. Tu es en train de distribuer un film qui nous appartient. I think we need to be able to first of all understand that there are policies that separate us and make us not to be able to do films like one people. For example, me coming from the English part of Cameroon, I bet you I will not do a film that encompasses 5% of French, because I know where I want to go and distribute, but because it's French in the film, if I have 50%, there's a problem. Moi, je pense qu'il faut qu'on commence notre discussion de ces échelons. Maintenant, on descend, parce que si on parle seulement que moi, je vais entrer au Nigeria, j'ai entré, ça serait la même chose tous les années. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you for that question.
I'm really not, I don't agree with you at all. No, yeah, I don't agree with you at all. And it could be a good discussion. Because I think that movies are produced all over the world the same way, with languages, and why would it be an issue here and not elsewhere? So it's about stopping, she was saying it. It's stop talking, just do. And after some time, you know, they are the talkers who are about changing policies. They are about, oh, this is unfair. Oh, it should be different. And they are the doers who are producing, who are waking up in the morning, they're working hard, and they're finding solutions to the problems. And I'm sure that all the problems that you have mentioned can be solved if we work. No, they are. No, they are. Maybe not in northern Cameroon, but elsewhere. And I mean, coming here, meeting with Nigerian producers, I've already produced 2 programs here with Nigerian producers. Well, we haven't talked, we have just done things. So, just do.
Okay, thank you. Anyone wants to add something to what he said? Do you want to add something, Judith?
Because I was just having a conversation with him and asking him if it's actually a problem if you have French in the, you know, in your films, if you have problems selling it. So I can't really understand where he's coming from. So it's people that are from the Francophone side that would actually probably be able to understand where he's coming from, because I was asking if it's a challenge. But like he said, I think in doing it, you would eventually break it.
So I know him.
But
I
don't
he's
understand. I can't understand where he's coming from, because I really don't know.
Yeah, he's talking more about the politics. He says there's a lot of politics.
There's politics
obviously
everywhere.
There's politics
There's
everywhere,
politics
like
everywhere.
he said.
So you have to figure out how to
You have to
go above it. There is always
It's all
a
around the
way.
world.
Yeah.
It's all
There's
around the
always a
world.
way.
Yeah, it's all over.
Not only in Africa.
Yeah.
It's the same problem all around the world. But
Exactly.
producers have to find solutions.
Yeah, and it's mostly through collaborations like these that we're trying to get it done. You want to say something again?
Hello.
1 second.
Thank you. Okay, what I'm saying, moi je n'assume pas. Ce que je te dis, c'est que moi je vais faire. Par exemple, moi je pense que nous on fait le travail, c'est la vérité. Okay, what we are doing is not about talking. It's not talking. What I'm saying is from statistical experience. I've been in the industry, I've been doing film since 2002. So it's not about talk, it's about what we can do. For example, if I do a film today that is purely in French, I would distribute, for example, with TV5. But if I do a film today that is English 85%, TV5 will tell me no, on ne peut pas même dober. They
So
cannot.
that will be a question for distributors. But unfortunately, we don't have any distributor on our panel today. I think I mentioned that earlier. It would have been nice to have someone here that can, answer you on why they do what they do. So we won't be able to answer that. Any other question?
But TV5, isn't that an 100% French station?
Yeah.
It's French. So
Yes.
if you are doing an English film, you have to dub it in French and before
Yeah.
TV5 will buy it. Why would
Yeah.
TV5 be showing a film that has English in it?
Yeah. Next question, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tomi Aderuku, based in Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou precisely. And I'm really glad that we're having this conversation. I think that the conversation is long overdue, and I'm grateful that we're having it here at AFRIF. My question, or just to buttress some of the point that has been made. For instance, I think we could go forward, take this conversation forward, by also including a lot of French films in programmation of festivals. For instance, I saw Sierra at Fespaco. Sierra was an amazing film. Everybody had a lot of support for Sierra and hoped that Sierra was going to get the Talon d'Or, but that didn't happen. So for instance, if you're having this conversation here about French filmmakers and French filmmakers looking into Nigeria, I think we should also continue in that optic or in that direction by allowing us to see French films. If, for instance, we see French, we see Sierra here in Nigeria, in Lagos, it's probably going to be easier, probably, for a director or for a marketer to say they want to take on Sierra in a cinema. That would test the validity or test the reception of the film because it has been seen in a Nigerian festival and you can see the audience reaction to the film. So I think that this is a good step, but we can also take the conversation further by also including a lot of francophone films in our programmation festivals. And secondly, to the point about policy making, I think that there's an issue about policy. For instance, like I said, I'm in Burkina Faso, and there's some funding or commission that I cannot apply to simply because I'm Nigerian or I don't have a francophone passport. I'm not from Benin, I'm not from Togo, I'm not from the Francophonie. I'm just limited to Francophonie. But because I'm a Nigerian, even though I've been living in Burkina Faso for a long time, I cannot apply for these funds simply because of policy. So to say that there's no policy issue, I think that might not be entirely true. But we can also work around this policy issue, like the conversation we are having. So thank you very much for your conversation. And
Thank you. Yeah, so you're right. We can work around it by collaborating more. Like there was a panel yesterday where we were encouraged to partner with people, network, go to places like this, go to like film festivals, attend them to be able to partner and meet other producers like yourself from those countries you want to go and apply for funding from. I think that's like the easiest way. And working together as producers is one major problem that I feel like we always have globally. Next question. Okay.
Hello, my name is Ike, and I'm a film producer from Ghana. Concerning the project you were talking about, like our...
We can hear you. I think you have to come forward.
Hello. Concerning our upcoming project, yes, we have a Nigerian character in the film, which we intend to get someone from Nigeria. That is one. Secondly, too, there is Creation Africa that the French embassy has come up with for film producers in Africa, but you need co-producing. Like you need to collaborate with a different Anglophone producing country so that you can have access to that fund. I think they give up to between 50 to 80,000 euros, which can also support us. And from there, probably we can get to that international platform and meet the international people we want to work with. So I just want to let you know that in our industry, we shouldn't be selfish. We should be open. We should love to collaborate. Because one thing I also realize in Ghana is producers want to show off. They want to be the best, so they don't want to share. But in the international world, it's not like that. We have to collaborate. You have to work with each other. So I think it's something we need to develop as people so that we can work forward to achieve the greatest thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Collaboration is important. She wants, yeah.
So, good evening. My name is Cassandra. I work in distribution and I speak French. So I wanted to talk about something you mentioned about French. You don't, asking people to go and take French classes before doing co-production is a long-term solution. Anyone who's learned a foreign language as an adult will tell you that it's not an easy task at all to learn it as an adult. The short-term solution would be to hire culture consultants who understand the territories that you're going to film in. The filmmaker you said that shot in Ivory Coast, Benin Republic, he went with an interpreter. Pay for your interpreters. Hire interpreters. There are people who speak French, they're interpreters, they're translators. Hire them, pay for them. Put it in your budget when you're doing your co-production. Because if you have to wait until you're fluent in French, it's going to be a very long thing. Then secondly, on the marketing issue, if a film is good and you haven't done anything to let people know about the film, is this still a good film? Did you even make the film? So you really need, it's very important, and I know that it's not something we always think about in these parts when you're making film, and I'm only just learning that the French are just as bad as us when it comes to marketing and dedicating a budget. But it's very important. There are many beautiful films that I think need to be shown here. You were talking about Senegalese films. Saloum, beautiful film. You know, I wanted it to show in the cinemas here. I kept, talking to Jean-Luc Eboulon. I was like, when is your film showing in Nigeria? But it's not. Maybe if it was dubbed in English, right? And then, they partnered with Film One or Genesis or any of the cinema industries, we will be able to have it shown here. So there's the language barrier too. Sometimes it's not about politics, it's the language barrier. How many Nigerians are really going to go to the cinema to watch a French film? But if that French film is maybe dubbed in English, in addition to all the marketing you're going to do for it, I like what Tommy said about showcasing it in Nigerian festivals too. Cannes is great, Berlin is great, Sundance, Tribeca, wonderful festivals, right? But if you also showcase them in Nigerian festivals, like Afri, for instance, then people get to know your film. Then you can go to a Film One, Cinemax, and say, okay, this is my film, this is how we are doing, this is how many subscribers we have on social media, this is how many people have viewed our trailers, and then you can get a more positive response. I don't think, for the Cameroonian guy, I don't think there's a conspiracy about not showing certain films. It's really about business. Does it have a market here? Will people watch it? If we put it in the cinemas, will people watch it, right? Have you done any marketing behind it? Distributors, we're at a period where it is unrealistic for any producer to expect a distributor to handle all your marketing. Very unrealistic, even in the West. I'm a part of many film forums, and it's the same complaint. Distributors don't market our films. Even white people are complaining. So as a producer, it is very important for you to handle your marketing, your personal branding, your film branding, because no distributor is going to do that for you. They have a lot of other films. It's very difficult to sell films. If they have to add marketing on top of it, they might have to increase the commission they are taking from you. Are you ready to let go of that? So producers, do your marketing, hire French consultants. I speak French. You can hire me for your translation and your interpretation. Voila.
Thank you. Any other question? Last one. Okay, thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wilfred. I'm a production designer. My question is based on the fact that I know that Africa is, that's West Africa, is 51% French speaking. So at times, I'm half based there, I'm half based in the Gambia. I know being in the Gambia, I'm close to Senegal. So, and I know the barrier I experienced trying to communicate with filmmakers in Senegal, then from a little stint I had with my guys in Burkina Faso. You understand? What I want to ask is, if we want to really bridge the gap of that language gap, especially when it comes to French filmmaking, what stops the French cultural center or the French government or the French filmmakers for establishing like a lab in almost all these French-speaking countries where English can be translated to French and French translated to English to ease up that language barrier. That's my question.
What lab? Like a translation.
Audiovisual labs.
Oh, okay.
Dobby labs. Language Dobby labs.
Do you want to answer that? Did you understand the question? Translation studio to translate French to English or English to French. Like, what stops us from having something like that in most African, like French-speaking African countries or English-speaking African countries?
Yes. Your question is if I translate English to French for African territories? Yes, for Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire, etc., just for French territories. But for me, we are very close. I listen the different question. For me, the French territories and the French on territories African is very close. I work with a lot of Nigerian people. I don't speak English. I never found some problem, some issue with them. Yes, it's okay. But I never had some problem for translate Igbo, Zulu, Yoruba. I have a lot of native in Paris for translate different dialects and vice versa.
Okay, so, someone like him, he runs a post-production studio and he does translation already. So that means there will be several production studios like his in every country. So when you're filming, you just have to find the right person that understands how to translate where it's needed. I think that's what I would say to that. Thank you. Are we done with the questions so we can say thank you to our amazing panelists? All right, thank you so much for everything. It was an amazing session. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, too, for the beautiful audience. Thank you for listening.